In a daring, well-documented nighttime raid, 23 Navy SEALs landed in the Al-Qaeda compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan. They were there to kill or capture the world's most wanted man. The entire operation lasted only 40 minutes and ended up with the death of Osama Bin Laden. Or did it? That's what the deep state, reptile aliens, or any number of conspiracy theory boogeymen want you to believe. Sheeple, the truth is out there. Imagine instead believing that Bin Laden's raid wasn't a result of years of research, intelligence work, and training. Since there were no photos released to the public, some believe the government isn't telling the whole truth about the alleged death of Bin Laden in 2011. The US government's reluctance to release the photos of his body and the immediate burial at sea didn't help quash these theories either. You don't have to go far on the internet to find alternative theories about Bin Laden's death. And if this author is mysteriously killed in the coming weeks, you can be sure one of these is true. Definitely. Number 1. Osama Bin Laden died in December 2001. Some say the world's most wanted terrorist was suffering from Marfan Syndrome, a genetic mutation that affects the protein keeping the body's tissue together. According to former State Department official Dr. Steve R. Piesnik, Bin Laden looked like a textbook case of the disorder. His tall frame, long limbs, and long face all displayed classic symptoms. The disease affects 1 in about 5,000 people and can cause sudden death, and there's no definite DNA test for it. Instead, doctors begin with judging the outward appearance of a suspect marfanoid person, someone thin and often lanky, sometimes with spidery fingers and curved spines. Piesnik claimed CIA doctors had treated OBL for Marfan, and the Al-Qaeda leader died just months after the September 11, 2001 attacks. Others claim that he died at the same time, but of renal failure, not Marfan Syndrome. Number 2. He didn't die, he got a vacation. Like all great conspiracy theories, this one is fact mixed with a healthy dose of fiction, but the facts make it just believable enough to catch on. During the Soviet occupation of Afghanistan, the CIA flew Soviet-built weapons from Saudi Arabia to the Afghan Mujahideen during Operation Cyclone. The conspiracy theory alleges that Bin Laden became a CIA asset at this time. The CIA, partnering with Pakistan's Inter-Service Intelligence Agency, worked to build the mythos surrounding Osama Bin Laden so that fanatical terrorists would come to Afghanistan. Funded through the heroin trade, tactically permitted by Pakistan, the CIA created a means to fight Islamic fundamentalism in one place. The raid that killed Bin Laden the terrorist was allegedly a means to let Bin Laden the CIA asset retire. This is a theory backed by the Iranian regime. Number 3. Pakistan captured Bin Laden in 2006. This one comes from legendary investigative journalist Seymour Hersh. Hersh alleges that Pakistan's ISI captured the terrorist in 2006 and used him as leverage to operate in Afghanistan. The ISI then sold Bin Laden to the US, but forced him to stage the raid that killed him. According to Hersh, when Navy SEALs arrived in Abbottabad, they were met by an ISI officer who casually walked them to Bin Laden's bedroom. The SEALs then riddled him with bullets, tore his body apart, and dispersed them throughout the Hindu Kush, just because. Hersh's sources for the story are both dubious and anonymous. Number 4. Bin Laden didn't even lie in Abbottabad. In the London Telegraph, Abbottabad resident Bashir Qureshi dismissed the idea that Bin Laden and his family lived in the area. Though the raid blew out the windows of his house, he still dismissed the idea, saying, "Nobody believes it. We've never seen any Arabs around here. He was not here." The Pakistani press didn't help. Newspapers in the country alleged the raid was set up so US forces would have an excuse to enter Pakistan. Former ISI officials seconded the idea in Western media, noting that someone was removed by the US forces and killed during the raid. But it wasn't Bin Laden. The real Bin Laden was already dead, they said, and the US knew it. They just didn't know where he died. Number 5. The US captured Bin Laden well before 2011. Another theory promoted by the Iranian regime says that the US captured and held Bin Laden for years before finally killing him. Fearful that forcing the world's most wanted terrorist to face trial in the US could result in a hung jury or worse, an acquittal, the United States executed him and staged his death as an elaborate raid. This theory alleges that killing Bin Laden was a stunt by the Obama administration in order to secure an election victory, even though the presidential election was more than a year away at the time. Number 6. Bin Laden was literally kept on ice. In keeping with the Bin Laden was already dead, the United States just confirmed it line of thinking. This theory states that the United States had either captured Bin Laden after the raid on Tora Bora, or that he died of renal failure well before 2011. The US then waited for an expedient time to announce the victory. The expedient times listed by proponents of the conspiracy include not clashing with the wedding of Prince William and Kate Middleton, and knocking an episode of Celebrity Apprentice off the air so President Barack Obama could thumb his nose at Donald Trump.